Welcome to Now. I'm your host, Curtis Parody, bringing you the news happening in the world right now. Well, happy Monday, everyone. I hope you're all doing well and you enjoyed your weekend. Also, hope you didn't get up to anything too crazy like the teenager in our first story of the week. It's official, though really it's obvious. Drunk teenagers are stupid. And I'm sorry, but the guy in the next story is a prime example of it. Over the weekend, Adam Steff, age 18, decided, like many other teens in the world, to go and get drunk. Now, after becoming intoxicated, he did what any logical thinking drunk person would do something illogical, like stealing a 4.5-pound giant tortoise from a local safari park. Because, you know, that's the new thing to do when you get drunk. You get drunk, you steal a tortoise. Remember, people, though, the best thing to do is to bookmark your local zoo or safari park before getting drunk. This way it's a lot easier to find afterwards. Kidding, obviously. Anyway, that's not even the best part about this, because after Adam got the giant tortoise out of the zoo, which I have to say bravo for, because, well, those things are not easy to move, Adam came to the realization of, what am I gonna do with this thing now? Oh wait, I got it. I'll sell it on Facebook. Okay, got it. Yes, because that's the logical choice. But okay, whatever, you've decided to sell it on Facebook. How much do you want for the thing? At first, it's reported that Adam tried to sell the tortoise for its real value of £2,000. But surprise, surprise, the friend he was trying to sell it to was not having any of that. But they settled on something a little bit different. Adam sold the giant tortoise for a grand total of £30. Yes, that's right. One giant endangered tortoise could have been yours for a staggering 30 British pounds. Now, it's not surprising that after some time, the safari park did locate the tortoise and get it back to its home safely, which of course is good news. Bad news, though, for Adam, because, well, again, not surprising, he is facing legal repercussions for his actions. So there you go. This proves one of my biggest rules of drinking. Just because you're drunk doesn't mean the law doesn't apply to you. Just remember that. Also, drink responsibly. But not underage, because that's illegal. Okay, from giant tortoises, let's move on to another really cool animal, the giant panda. Because today is a very special day for Canada, as 2 new Chinese pandas have arrived in Toronto. Yes, that's right, the Toronto Zoo today became the new home to 2 new Chinese pandas, which will represent a symbol of peace and friendship between Canada and China. The interesting thing about these new pandas, well, they won't be Canadians forever. They're actually on loan from China. Yes, in a surprising $1 million a year deal, the 2 pandas will stay in Canada for the next 10 years. They'll spend 5 years at the Toronto Zoo, and then they will be moved to the Calgary Zoo for the remaining 5 years. Among the many dignitaries at the Toronto airport to watch the arrival of the pandas from China today was our very own Prime Minister Stephen Harper, who, surprise, surprise, had to actually sign for the pandas from FedEx. Yes, that's right. Somehow, Canada and China agreed that the best way to ship the bears was by using FedEx. I'm kind of surprised the bears actually arrived on time. This must be a first for FedEx. I'm kidding, I've really never had any problems with FedEx. Also, I think, though this is only an assumption, that FedEx probably gave them a cheaper shipping rate to the countries because, well, hey, nothing says good publicity like the fact that they can ship 2 giant pandas halfway across the world. Also, they did get an opportunity to outfit their plane with cool pictures, and they got to call it the Panda Express, which is pretty freaking sweet. So if you're wondering when you'll be able to see these new furry pandas, well, the Toronto Zoo exhibit will open in May of this year. From talking about pandas flying, let's talk about you and me flying up there in the sky. It looks like new rules could be coming down from the FAA about using tablets, e-readers, and other certain electronics during takeoff and landing. According to the New York Times, the FAA is looking into lifting the ban on certain devices from being used during takeoff and landing, which is great because, well, the ban isn't really stopping those people right now who really want to use those devices. And I'm not gonna lie, there have been many times when I've used my iPad during takeoff and landing. Like, sometimes, you know, you're like right in a game of Monopoly and you just don't want to quit it because, like, if you put it down, like, maybe you'll lose, like, your gaming mojo, and that would be horrible. And talking about not being able to use things in certain situations, talk about the most generic transition ever. Anyway, it looks like West Virginia could be the first state to ban Google Glass while driving. Yep, we all knew it was coming, but this kind of follows the rules from the last story. I see way too many people using their phones while they drive as it is, and the least you can do is, like, go hands-free. That's what I do. I have, like, a phone mount, like, right beside, like, my steering wheel. It allows me to, like, change the current song and, like, you know, quickly check Facebook at red lights because I gotta do that. But I don't have to hold the phone, which is a good thing. Now, you could argue that, of course, I'm not really paying attention, which, yes, it's true, but it's a compromise. And I thought about this yesterday while I was driving to work. I, like, pretended to use Google Glass because I'm a nerd and I like to do that. But hey, if you look up in, like, the right corner of, like, my glasses is, like, right here. If I'm looking right here, I can't really see anything that's going on over here. Like, I can kind of see the camera, but more or less, I see the smoke detector that's on my roof. So it kind of makes sense to ban Google Glass and devices like it while you're driving, but in the end, I don't think it's gonna really stop people from doing it. And for those Google Glass enthusiasts out there like myself, Glass will be available to the public in the latter part of this year for a price that's currently unknown, though Google has pointed out that it will cost more than a smartphone, but less than a laptop, so probably around like $700 to $800. So start saving now! Just saying. Next, because there's way too much awesome news happening in the world today, looks like Daft Punk is making a return. Not that they ever really left, but they have a new album coming out on the 21st of May for all of those who are interested. The album's called Random Access Memories, and it's available for pre-order right now on iTunes for those of you who are interested. I know I've already hit the pre-order button, so why not you? And our last piece of news today comes from the country that's getting more and more pissed off by the day, North Korea. Personally, the more I hear about North Korea, the more I'm thinking like a bomb shelter in the backyard. Probably not a bad thing. Anyone else with me on this one? Maybe, we could like build one together. Yeah, maybe, who knows? Anyway, you may have heard this already from last week, but South Korea was hit by a series of major cyber attacks recently. These attacks brought down communication and banking systems around the country, but it was widely suspected that the attack was from North Korea. But of course, that has not yet been proven. The reason North Korea is a prime suspect for all of this, well, it's North Korea, and they frickin' hate South Korea. Oh, and the fact that it's suspected for some time that North Korea, along with building up like its physical army, is also building up its cyber warfare army. Just think about it now, rows and rows of North Korean nerds and geeks sitting in their little desks attacking computer systems around the world. Kinda freaky when you think about it. But anyway, just keep thinking happy thoughts. And remember, unfortunately, when a country like North Korea literally has nothing and is thinking about fighting a war, it's got nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Okay, sorry, but I had to say that. Anyway, it's time for my question for all of you. Jumping back to the story about using devices during takeoff and landing, I want to know, do you actually shut off your devices when you're taking off or landing in a plane? Tell me in the comment section below, or of course, you can always let me know on my Facebook page, through Twitter, or on Google+. Links to all that and the other topics I talked about in today's episode in the description below, along with the always amazing subscribe button. So until next time, I'm Curtis Parody, and that's what's happening now. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video today. You can of course check out more videos I create by clicking on them below. Check out Now for the latest news happening in the world right now, Paradise Gaming for some fun gameplay videos, or of course my personal vlog channel to see what I'm like outside of my studio. Also, if you're interested in supporting the show and getting some new clothes for yourself, check out the store at thecurtisparodystore.ca. See you guys later.